Hello, in this video I wanted to show you some of the things I work around, mainly the pond today. But anyway, since we're walking towards it and we find these guys around, let's just pet them a little bit. These are the things that keep me distracted from finishing everything. And there's this guy and his dog, his favorite pet. Very nice animal. He or she, I'm not sure if it's a male or female, but he never runs away. He just stays there to be pet. And that's my favorite one. That's a really nice chicken. There she is, a really docile animal. Never had them before. It's called a silky chicken. This video I had to record my voice later because somehow I screwed the sound. But anyways, I wanted to explain to you how my pond cycle works, because it's all natural, and then it's a proper way to keep the fish alive and a healthy ecosystem. First, I have to keep it oxygenated as you see the bubbles coming from the bottom. And first the water comes from the little creek I made. And it comes all the way here, it goes through under these rocks. There's an entrance where the water goes. And it goes straight to the skimmer filter. So the main purpose of the skimmer filter is to get whatever is floating in the water. That's why it's called a skimmer. Usually in the fall, when there's a lot of leaves falling, most of them get caught on these. So first there's that thicker media where most of the bigger debris get caught. Comes through here, you can see the water flowing. Most of it gets stuck in here. In this media, there's bacteria colonies living. I call it beneficial bacteria because they consume the fish waste and any debris that is decomposing. They consume all of that. Everything starts here. And the second layer is mostly rocks and lava rocks because they're porous, and then the more pores, the more bacteria that lives in there. You want as much bacteria as possible. That's the other filter where more bacteria lives, and that's where the pond sits. So before the water gets to the pump, a lot of filters are in between. And the water goes through there. And I'm gonna show you where it goes. It goes all under here, about 1 foot deep. And it goes to the bottom of this basin here. So the water goes to the bottom and it goes up, all the way up. And there's layers of different rock sizes, from bigger to small, from the bottom to the top. These are mainly on the top. The last layer is lava rock. I love lava rock because it got all these little holes where bacteria lives. And you really need this bacteria because this bacteria uses the waste from the fish and it turns it into nitrogen and some other compounds that the plants use. This I call it the bug filter. The first filter is called a skimmer filter, and this is a bug filter. In the bug filter you plant plants, and these plants are gonna use what the bacteria produces. Because at the end of the day, what the bacteria produces is chemicals that will end up back in the pond, and they're not too good for the fish. So you need these plants. This year I decided to experiment with tomatoes. And these plants are really looking kind of nice. But I'm not sure what the result or the taste of these tomatoes is gonna be. Hopefully good. So this flows constantly day and night. There's the chickens, that's where they're always around here. There goes the tomatoes. On top of the tomatoes, I also planted some lettuce, which of course the chickens ate most of it. These tomatoes kind of went out of control because I was busy and I didn't pull the suckers. Pulling the suckers is a task. That's something you have to check constantly. Because when they get out of control, then you get a lot of branches. And instead of getting few big tomatoes, you get a lot of small tomatoes. But at the end of the day, what matters is the taste. So that's something I have to wait and see if they ever make it to ripe. Because what I know is that my chickens ate my wife's tomatoes. So hopefully they don't get to these ones. I think it could be a good idea to fence them somehow. But this tomato plants really got huge. Here you can see the lettuce. The lettuce did a really good job in the water, but the chickens didn't give it a break, and they kept eating them and eating them. Which it doesn't really bother me, but I taught them myself to eat them, because why not? There they are. You can tell they love it. Maybe I should plant some more. Look at these chickens, they're amazing animals. Can't wait to for them to lay some eggs. Some nice free range eggs. But anyway, if you have a pond and you can set up a filtration system like this, it is so useful because you're using everything. So you feed the fish, everything starts with the fish. Fish are the main thing. Everything starts with the fish. The fish produce waste, and the waste is used by certain beneficial bacteria, and this bacteria produce a waste, and this waste is beneficial for the plant. And then the plants help clean the water by using the bacteria's waste. And that's where the cycle completes. Another thing why you want a bug filter on plants is because you keep algae under control. If you don't have these plants consuming the nutrients that the bacteria releases, which is mainly nitrogen, I believe, then the string algae, which is not good for the fish, it takes over. It just takes control because it has too much food. This is where they spend most of the time, the chickens, because they get some good shade, they get water, they're close, they have a nice view, and they have protection from this smoke tree. Like it's the perfect place. I could stay there all day as well. I'm really excited about this tomato project in the bug filter. Um, but I usually plant other kinds of plants, usually just garden plants in the water. But this year, I like I said, this has to have a better purpose. Like, why not put some vegetables on it instead of just wasting everything? Beautiful plants. Yeah, plants are beautiful, but you know, vegetable plants are beautiful as well, and they give you something back. You gotta try to get something in return. And everything you do, if everything can be used in a cycle, it's the perfect thing to do. Here's the lettuce already. It's about to flower and hopefully produce some seeds that I can reuse. Not sure about that. We'll see. And then there's the fish waiting for me to feed them. Japanese koi. Really nice deep colors, but you can't really tell in the camera. Right now I have the algae under control because tomatoes are so big and the roots are consuming all these nutrients, these plant nutrients. You can see a little bit of algae there, but probably just easy to pick it up and feed it to the duck. Duck is gonna eat it, no problem. Even fish eat a little bit of it. But of course, they prefer the easy food I give them.